Welcome back to Hannity. The race for 2016 in progress, of course. The candidates have given the late-night hosts more material than they know what to do with. Here's part of what they said about the third Republican debate. Watch.
If I'm going to talk about the debate, it's now or never, though never is a tempting option. Okay, and I blame the moderators. They open with the one question that no one in human history has ever answered honestly.
It was the most watched program in CNBC history. More than 5,000 people watched this thing last night on CNBC, mostly to get ideas for Halloween costumes.
Last night I watched two scary movies, the Republican debate and the Mets game.
Joining now with reaction, the host of Red Eye, Tom Shillue, and Fox News contributor, our friend Katherine Timpf. Great to see you both. So, Tom, to start with you, you've been many years in comedy. Of all the candidates, and let's just factor out Trump because he's just too unbelievably awesome from a comedic point of view, but leaving Trump aside, who would comedians like to be the nominee?
I think Ted Cruz they like because he's got a kind of a personality. He's the only other one you could really dress up for as Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that kind of character. So I think they would love Cruz. People like Lindsey Graham, you know, because he's got his own kind of weird Southern thing. Like, he's very gentle, but he talks tough. So they love to make fun of that. But of course, I think they hope it's Trump.
Of course they do. A lot of us do. Katherine, so, I mean, no disrespect at all, because I think he's the nicest person I've ever seen run for president. You know, of course, I'm talking about Ben Carson. But he does talk a lot with his eyes closed.
He really
does.
Is
that something that comedians are going to
say, is that funny? It's kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
He always just looks so chill. I would like to get some of his chill.
He is chill. He was a surgeon.
You'd have to be kind of chill, I guess, to be a surgeon.
Yeah, you don't want a jumpy brain surgeon.
How could you be chill and be a surgeon? That's such a not chill thing to do.
So my favorite moment was when
that's so not chill.
Trump says, I don't understand why he's leading. Literally, almost exactly said, I don't get it. He's like asleep. And then you cut to Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, this is what Trump says about you. And Carson literally keeps his eyes closed the whole time and says, you know, I'm not going to respond. So excellent.
Well, that's what the thing that has hurt Jeb more than anything. People say, oh, Jeb this, Jeb that. It's Carson, because if Carson wasn't there, Jeb could be the anti-Trump. He could be more gentle, and he could play against that. But we've already got the two sides. We've got Trump, who's very brash, and then we have Carson, who's super mellow. And so Jeb has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
We got spicy and cool.
He's not even trying to be anti-anything. I think he's just like, well, you know, if they ask me a question, I'll say what I think, and hey, how's it going? And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I don't think you could try to be the anti-Trump. Jeb's just, ugh, man, so sad.
And that's not something that you're going to see comedians make fun of.
Jeb, well, I mean, Jeb, it's just, he's embarrassing himself, but he's a little too boring for it to be that funny as a personality.
What about Hillary Clinton? I think Saturday Night Live is not getting enough credit for the woman who's now portraying Hillary Clinton. I know you saw the Bernie Sanders invitation, got all this publicity, but the woman who does Hillary, she's
she's great,
robotic and cruel and Germanic. I mean, that's just perfect.
Yes, and doing Bernie isn't really that hard,
right?
Especially
not if you're Larry David.
Yeah, that's it. Larry David doesn't even really have to do an impression; he could just kind of do himself.
Yes,
but yes, she's fantastic, and they are kind of nice to her. I mean, it's a little bit of a tribute to Hillary, but you know that's understandable.
Really, I think they make her seem appallingly calculating.
Well, yes, I think they do.
I don't know where they come up with that, but somehow they decide that maybe
the worst person. I've never seen anybody try to be cool more. I think the more celebrities she talks to, the harder she tries to be cool. Just keep making fun of that. That'd be pretty great, too. But she doesn't have an actual personality. She's kind of, you know, whatever people tell her to do. This is the Hillary I'm today. This is the Hillary I'm today. So it's just endless possibilities.
Yeah, and I think the Kate McKinnon impersonation, it can't be that bad because Hillary likes it. She's willing to stand next to her and do dueling Hillary Clintons.
Do you think Hillary would admit it if she didn't?
No, I don't think she would.
It would take a pretty brave candidate to go after Saturday Night Live and say, hey, kids, you know, I think your humor's stupid.
If someone tells her to do it, that it'll be good for her numbers, then she will develop that opinion. But until then, she's just going to keep.
So do you expect as we go into this, and I hate to read politics too much into comedy because it just distresses me they enter in at all, but do you think that the late night hosts are going to take sides in this election in a noticeable way?
Well, I mean, I think they do, some of them. Obviously, I don't even mind it. Colbert, to me, it's fine because he's out there and he's liberal. And so he always has been, and that's the way it is. John Oliver, I mean, he's left. He's a strong leftist, and that's the way the show goes. So I think
John Oliver's a comedian?
I mean, John Oliver's. I think the show is
I thought
great.
he was like a community college professor. I had no idea that was
the show, though. I mean, I think that is the best political show because there's no hiding at all. They basically put their beliefs straight out there on the table. So I think it's excellent. I think it's good political satire.
What about the other
in
two?
the way that Jon Stewart used to try to hide it and pretend, oh, I'm objective, I'm just looking forward to what's funny.
annoying.
Just a comedian. Do you detect politics in the part of the other two?
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
The Jimmies?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody has politics. There's no way that anyone's totally unbiased. But I think that you should just remember to make fun of as many people as possible just to get all the jokes out there.
That's exactly right. That's why we're all rooting for Bernie Sanders to stay in until the bitter end. Broker Convention. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Coming up right after the break, more Hannity, so stay tuned.